My sister's husband wants to cheat on her and my dad is encouraging it. So I love my sister, 23F. She's the oldest and has always taken care of us, our studies, the house, the chores, the cooking, etc. I should start this off by mentioning we live in a religious, traditional household, so my sister was married off pretty early, 18. A guy asked for her hand in marriage and she accepted. We asked people about him, her husband, they said he was a great man, good husband, etc. I remember not wanting her to get married and leave, but my dad wouldn't let me tell that to her since it might affect her decision and she shouldn't pass up the chance with a good man. We had a small ceremony. My dad's never been a fan of huge parties, he thinks they're a bother and thinks big weddings are a waste, and she left to live with him after that. They seem like a really happy couple. My sister lives pretty far from us, so she rarely comes around to visit anymore, and I miss her a lot honestly. Anyway, my sister had 4 children in the past 5 years, all 4 are girls, and they're so adorable, just absolute angels. Her most recent 2 were a pair of twins. I love them, but as far as I heard the pregnancy was extremely hard on her body, and doctors said it would be a bad idea to have more children. All my sister's pregnancies were really rough. She would vomit and would be sleepless, she would fall over a lot and everything was really concerning, she would pass out in random places, and would seem like she was losing her mind at times. So usually she'd be stuck in bed for the last 4 months of her pregnancy, I think. I'm not really that educated on pregnancies overall, but this is just what I've gathered, and the fact doctors have told her not to have any more. During her pregnancy the house was so dirty, since her husband was a provider and she hasn't gotten around to finishing her education yet, so for now she's a housewife, but at that time she couldn't really clean the house, and my sister can't stomach anything if the house is dirty, she feels dirty herself. Now my dad and sister never got along, at all, but he's always been very sweet and caring to the rest of us, me and my siblings. He said she was disrespectful and spoiled. She was an expensive child to care for, she was always pretty sick and we never figured exactly what was wrong, but the hospital visits and medicine was so expensive, her clothing, school, just everything in general was too expensive to my dad. When she got married it was her husband's duty to provide, so my dad always made comments about how his bank account finally caught a break. Anyway, recently she came over for a visit with her daughters. I haven't seen her in months so I was beyond overjoyed, but she was a bit tired due to the travel so she went inside to sleep with the babies. While I was sitting around with the family, I heard her husband say a joke about how he might as well have a son from another woman since his wife isn't going to be giving him one, and my dad said that maybe he should go for it, since my sister was pretty forgiving, she wouldn't be mad for long. They continued the conversation but I just couldn't handle it. I feel sick to my stomach. My sister has been sick for over a month now and just constantly in and out of hospitals and I really can't bring myself to tell her. Over the last while this joke has been brought up a lot and my dad continues encouraging it. I feel awful. I mentioned it to him but he said that I'd only understand as a father without a son, but I feel like I don't have to get to that point to see this isn't really a joke to make, especially not at a time like this. When I told him if they're not a good fit for each other they should divorce instead of him cheating, my father asked if I'd rather have my sister alone with no one to provide for her with 4 daughters. I want to tell my sister but I can't bring myself to.